Why, hello there everyone. I'm Laxow, aka the Kumo Sensei. Minasan, ohayo gozaimasu. Hola pessoal. So today we're going to do a little bit of updates on some molts. Well, just one molt update. And feeding. So let's get straight into it. So this first one here that molted is my OBT, my orange baboon tarantula, also known as the Pterinochilus murinus. And this is my adult female here that recently molted, and she is ready to feed, but I just kind of left the molt in here for a little bit. So yeah, the molt is a bit stuck to the webbing, which is why I didn't bother until today of pulling this one out. And I have to say, she was not happy at all. So you're going to see defense postures and whatnot. And I did try to feed her because, as stated, she molted out about 2 weeks ago actually. And I just didn't really bother taking the molt out until today. So she's ready to go in terms of breeding and in terms of feeding. But let us wait and see. Now somebody local to me did have a mature male available, but I didn't get it yet because the person who had the mature male, he actually caught COVID. So because of that, we're just kind of putting that on hold. But I will go pick him up in the future. But as of now, since this female is still freshly molted, I'm not really in a hurry of breeding this female because we do still have a long time until she molts again since she molted so recently. But let us continue. So now I'm feeding my Theraphosa apophysis, also known as the Pinkfoot Goliath bird eater, and I sold away one of my females, so now I only have one male and one female. But honestly, that's all I need. But anyhow though, it turns out this one here wasn't as hungry today, so I took out the dubia, and then we're gonna move on to the next one. Now I'm not too worried if they don't eat because tarantulas do have some of the slowest metabolisms out there of any animal in the exotic pet trade. So if their abdomens are of decent size, they can go a very long time without eating. So when it comes to my larger tarantulas, I usually just feed them once every month to once every 2 months since my tarantulas are well fed and their abdomens are of decent size or very plump. So it's nothing really too worrisome for those who are wondering if their tarantulas don't eat. As long as their abdomens are of good size, then it's really nothing to worry about. But I've already mentioned this before on this channel a lot of times already when it comes to my feeding videos and whatnot about feeding tarantulas. So let us move on. So one thing I would like to talk about is about Bamboo, Rambo, and Miranda. Those three are my Pamphobeteus, confer antinous Peru, and some people have been asking where are they and did I sell them or what did I do with them? And I still have them, so you will see them in the later half of this video, so stick around. Now I am also going to feed my Theraphosa blondi, the one that I recently molted, so that one is going to be a nice feeding. I'm going to give her one big dubia, and that would be her meal for today. But honestly though, I am thinking about breeding this female as well because I do still have my mature male Theraphosa blondi, and I don't know if I'm going to record that breeding video or I'm going to do that as a personal side breeding project. I'm kind of 50-50, but let us wait and see. But this female is of breedable size because her spermatheca is scleroterized, meaning it's fully developed, indicating a mature female. Now she's not as big as my first Theraphosa blondi, which I did bred, but that one is a for a me side breeding project sort of thing. But as for this one, she is a tad bit smaller, and I do believe my male is a bit larger than her in terms of lifespan, so I'm kind of on the fence, but we really gotta wait and see. So when it comes to my breeding experience with Theraphosas, females sometimes can be a bit aggressive on the males, but the males usually get things going and they usually hold up the female pretty well. Now when it comes to the male's insertion, using his bulbous pedipalps, it can be a bit of a challenge because females are so heavy bodied that sometimes it makes it a bit difficult for the males to get a good insertion. And I know everybody wants me to breed this female and show everybody, but let us just wait and see. And while we're on the topic of tarantula breeding, I'm going to answer this question that I've answered pretty much a lot of times already, and that is, will I give out my knowledge for free? Yes and no. I will give out knowledge here and there, but I'm not going to give out everything. I'm saving that for a future apprentice in the future, but as of now, I don't really have plans of getting an apprentice because I'm still just enjoying the hobby as is. And while I am an experienced tarantula breeder, and while some people may consider me as a professional, which I do not by the way, I still just want to enjoy this tarantula hobby. But if the time comes though, I will pick up somebody. Now the person I will pick must be somebody who is willing to learn about the tarantula market, not just tarantula breeding. And that person so far does not exist. But if you do exist, and if you do think this person is you, by all means feel free to email me. My email is down below in the description. It's literally just Laxow with the words switched around with a random name generator. So yeah, it's down below, go check it out. Now, I'm not trying to be mean, but I have to be honest. If you send me an email wanting me to teach you, and all you ask is how do I breed tarantulas, I am not going to choose you, because the person I'm looking for must be willing to do more than just tarantula breeding. People need to understand, tarantula breeding is such a small fraction of this entire hobby that if you just want to learn tarantula breeding, then you're a niche. You're not cut out for this tarantula hobby. The people who are going to succeed as a tarantula breeder are the people who are willing to go the full journey. And honestly, I haven't found that person yet. But I don't want to talk about tarantula breeding all day because I don't think anybody's interested. But let us continue. Now back onto the topic of our Pamphobeteus confer antinous Peru. A lot of people, well pretty much everyone was like, Laxow, please don't tell me you got rid of them. Please tell us you still have them. Yes, I do. And man, it's like people are requesting to see them every single week. But I don't want to show them every single week because nothing really much happens. I only feed them once every 3 weeks to once every month or two. So I don't feed them often because these specimens are pretty much subadult / adult, specimens already. Now, hey, if something does turn up, I will update them on a video, but for the most part, nothing much goes on, so they just pretty much sit in my collection. And trust me, they just sit here and they just chill. And sometimes even I wonder what they're doing, which is kind of crazy because they're in my collection, but they just sit around and just chill, just like any other tarantula. But sometimes I do wonder what they're thinking about while they're just sitting there. And I'm like, "Nani o shite iru nda?" But yeah, though, overall, my tarantulas are just pretty much just chill. They're just hanging out here. I mean, they're not gone. They're still here, they're just chilling. I'm just waiting for them to mature out and then, yeah, a future breeding project that is. But if you want to stay up to date, by all means feel free to subscribe and stick around. And I stated before, and I'll state this again, I don't really have any intentions of becoming a full-time YouTuber because I just don't see that viable as a business opportunity. But hey, to each their own. And as I stated, if we make it, we make it. But let us see how many subs we can get before the end of this year. Hopefully 1,000, but if not, then I wouldn't be too surprised either. I know a lot of people say I'm underrated, especially as a tarantula YouTuber. But if that's so, by all means, spread the word around that I exist. Because I'm still here and I'm still uploading. And who knows, maybe someday I'll reach the great heights of the other tarantula YouTubers, such as Exotic's Lair, The Dark Den, Tarantula Cat, The Tarantula Collective, Tom Warren, Dave's Little Beasties, and them. But man, it would be so cool to actually meet them someday. Not like a fan meets their idol, but more like two great YouTuber buddies meeting each other. That would be such a, oh man, that would be a blessing. I would feel, man, that would be an amazing feeling, you know that? If that does happen someday. Okay, somebody mark that down. And in the future, if that does happen someday, remind me, because that would be such a great relief. And who knows, maybe I would meet you viewers as well in the future. And when I do, I would like to do some screen giveaways for free, so that way I don't feel like I'm capitalizing off you viewers, because I feel like you guys deserve something as well. But let us wait in the future to see if that will happen. And some of you did request for a face reveal, and I did sort of do a face reveal on my tarantula dishwashing video, so go check it out. There was a 4-second glimpse of me, but please go check it out if you want to see that. But anyhow though, I guess I'll call this a video. As the typical, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe to stick around. I upload every single Tuesday and Friday here on the channel. And also support me on my social medias such as my IG and Patreon. And with that, stay lax and Laxow out from the Kumo Sensei.